Minor Shack, Minor
The only
Shack.
one here.
Open myself home.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna come up for the great caucus.
We're live.
I can't tell that.
Yeah.
I'd like to open the commissioners meeting at the January 7th. There is no chair for this commission now at this point in time in the new year. So the first order of business is to elect the chair. Are there motions? Yes.
I'd like to renominate the gentleman from Newport.
You do need to give the name.
Name, I hate to give the name, but Andre Cushing.
Okay, other nominations?
I was going to nominate the Commissioner Marshall, but I'm supposing he, with his first act, he probably will decline that, but, I will nominate him, I would nominate Commissioner Marshall.
And would you accept?
No, I will respectfully decline and thank you for your
All
trust.
right, is it time, can you have discussion on the
Yeah.
issue? Okay, it's just, no problem with the current chair, I think he's done a fine job this year. I just think it's better to move the position around, it's not a partisan thing, obviously I think they're in the same party, so I think I watched the commission for a number of years, and I think it worked well in the past when they moved the chair position around, and I've seen other organizations where that's what they've done. I think when one person is in that position for an extended period of time, it's not good for the organization, so that's where I'm coming from.
I thank the good gentleman, my colleague, and the reason, I normally would have accepted that with honor, but given the fact that we're in transition, and for the next 2 or 3 months, it's going to be a requirement to be here almost on a daily basis, I think, and given the fact that I am such a distance away, today was a 2-hour trip down here, that I would have supported either the chairman or Dan to be the one to be here on a daily basis. And in recognition of that, at least for the first 3 or 4 months, I think it's critical to have continuity of leadership, and I'm comfortable with Commissioner Cushing and the job he's done. I do understand the comments of my colleague, but as I said, I think at this point in time, simply because of the time we find ourselves in, I will respectfully decline.
Okay. Is there further discussion?
I just want to say I appreciate the sentiment, certainly respect the courtesy that both have provided here. I think it is a healthy discussion for us to have along with other policies, but at this point, as we transition, I am happy to continue in this role for the immediate future, but I would welcome that discussion to address what Commissioner Trimble and Marshall have brought up. So.
Seeing no other discussion, we'll call for a vote. Motion is for Andre Cushing to be chair. All those in favor, please so indicate. Opposed? 2 to 1.
And I just would like to add that we've taken the vote, but I think we'll work well together, we'll work well together going forward, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll keep the treasurer too, right?
Oh, we get a vote on that?
No.
I think we have
The people already
replaced
did. I appreciate it. I have been working on kind of a year-end summary. The administrator last year did that for us. And I just think it's both a healthy and valuable dynamic. I will share that with my colleagues before we put it out. But we just want to recognize some of the significant activities that went on during 25 and remember those who are no longer with us for various reasons and create communication that we can share to continue being more transparent with our residents and our municipal colleagues.
Is that something that goes in the annual report?
There really hasn't been until last year an annual report. Scott developed what he referred to as the state of the county, which was based upon what you've seen with certain communities and with the governor providing the state of the state each year. And I think it's healthy to reflect on what we have dealt with this year and some of the things that we did that were important, particularly the opera, the opioid, some of the other things that we've done in the community to better communication that I think is developing between our municipal partners and just in an effort to continue that. I think it's a good dynamic to have.
And I haven't yet found these two-page summaries that you folks were hoping to find as something to give to the next county administrator for a good summary. So if you know where those might be in your computers, it would be helpful.
I'll look and see. I don't know if you got a copy, but both Glenn and David asked 2 years ago for a page from each department outlining.
Oh,
Do any of you department heads recollect producing that, and whether you still have a copy of that?
I think George was in
Mary Ann and I have searched also, and we haven't found anything.
It was just a kind of a summary of what your departments did, who was there.
I may still have those. I had asked for that as a orientation for me as an incoming commissioner, and it helped me to understand the parameters for what everybody was doing. It was very helpful. And I also think it had a bit of background on each of these. I had some personal, their personal comments.
I think we're planning on a future department head meeting where they will meet the new administrator, and maybe that would be something that we could ask them to prepare for that.
It seems like we lack a indoctrination notebook, if you will, for new electeds as well as staff.
Yeah, well, my orientation was, they brought me to the commission chamber and pointed at Tom's chair and said that's where he used to sit, and I think his budget book is there, and just let us know if you have any questions.
You can do better.
For the record, I wasn't in HR at that time.
That is correct. There were many of you who were not here in 2018.
I was looking out, there's only 2 here, department heads.
At this point, if I may call the roll, Commissioner Trumbull.
Here?
Commissioner Marshall.
Here.
Mr. Treasurer.
Here.
And the chair is present. I would at this point ask if the treasurer would lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this point, I would entertain a motion regarding the minutes for the December 31st, 2025 meeting.
I move we approve the minutes of December 31st.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous. Public comment is now open. We allow up to 3 minutes for an individual to speak to the commission on issues not on the agenda. Brian, do you recognize anyone online that might wish to speak to the commission?
Potentially Laura Sanborn or Janet Drew has her
Yep.
hand up.
I do see one hand. I will go with Janet Drew. If Laura Sanborn also wishes to speak, we certainly will allow her to raise her hand and alert you to that. But at this,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, please.
just before we go, are we implementing not a new policy, but enforcing the current policy that going forward after this meeting, that for online public comment, they need to let us know ahead of time that they...
Yes, we have listed that on the website and re-highlighted that. And just for those who are listening, we ask out of courtesy to our staff, if you are going to be speaking on a subject in public comment, that you email our administrator by Monday of that week so that he can be prepared to notify the chair or the commission of people being available. At this point, we want to make sure we're respectful. We do allow, as I said, up to 3 minutes on each topic that may not be on the agenda, but we ask you to be concise in your comments and respectful. At this point, I believe Janet Drew, you are with us. Are you online, Janet?
I'm here. Thank you.
Please proceed.
At the last meeting, I guess it was the treasurer. I don't always know who's speaking because all I just see is a room full of people. But I think it was the treasurer who was saying that the county's going to be, the 16% increase this year. None of us could sustain that kind of budget increase in our homes and still be viable. And he said we'll continue hemorrhaging money till we have a new jail. I cannot see how spending millions and millions and millions of dollars on a new jail could possibly cost less money. I wonder if you have any statistics from the sheriff on how his diversion program is working, or his whatever program is working, compared to what was there when pretrial services was doing it. I think there should be some data to see if what's happening is helpful, or are people getting second chances. He gave away ARPA money. I hear Bangor, the city is trying to figure out what to do about housing, because housing is such a problem. And, but you gave back ARPA money that could have been for housing. It blows my mind. And all of this with the jail, with no housing. You have that Moss culture study that says the problem is not the old jail, the problem is the culture. And you have an HIV problem. It's disappointing. You have a big agenda, problems that do not get addressed.
Thank you. Are there any other further public comments from anyone online?
Not seeing any indication.
Okay, is there anyone currently in the audience that would like to make public comment? Seeing none, I will close public comment. I do want to clarify something. There's apparently a misunderstanding on some people's part that we are giving ARPA money back. That is not indeed the case, that we are returning anything from the ARPA allocations. There is still a year for people to use their designated funds, and we have spoken to a number of them to ensure that their projects are on track, and feel confident that most of those allocations will be exhausted by the end of the year. There are ARPA funds that are designated for projects within county government, some of which are ongoing with our HVAC and other renovations here. Those monies will be drawn on. We have used some of those in place of TAN so that we reduced our borrowing costs. Those were all returned at the end of 25. And that may be the misunderstanding that some people had when we referenced returning ARPA money. We treated it in the same manner that we did a TAN, but it was to prevent increased expenses to the county by paying a lending institution for some of those monies. We will obviously not have that luxury going forward after 26, because the money will need to have been expended, but we're trying to be fiscally prudent in how we manage our cash flow and our operations here. The other thing that I do want to clarify is this: the sheriff and his team have regularly communicated, both through FOIA requests and publicly, what has gone on with the pre-release program for the county and how well that has worked to allow some people to fulfill their commitment to report in without physically having to put them in a jail cell, and that we will continue that program. It has been brought in directly under the sheriff. It was a contract with an agency before, but it is being now operated by the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office directly. And I think we are very fortunate that we have a sheriff with everything else that's going on, and a team that supports him, that is willing to create a system like this to serve the needs of people who may have experienced the interaction with the law that has put them in a difficult position, but we are not jeopardizing employment or other relations by forcing them to be in a cell, which quite candidly we don't have the room for right now anyway. And there's close to 100 people who are served through that program. So hopefully that clarifies things for any of those interested in the facts. I don't know if my colleagues have anything they wish to share, but I'll provide the opportunity at this point if you do.
No, that was a good summation, although I think sometime in the next, was it July 1? When did we take over the pretrial service?
I believe it was as of the 1st of July.
Well, yeah,
I think
maybe at some point we could just get a report on how the transition's gone, how things are going in-house on that.
I'm sure the sheriff and his team will be happy to provide that. And I think, going forward, we will continue to have some of these discussions because we need the public to understand what the value is of taking a antiquated facility and designing it so that we can hold the people in our care while still providing them with the services that they could benefit from, and most importantly, having the ability to have healthcare services within the facility as opposed to spending the inordinate amount of money having 2 corrections officers have to sit with somebody at the hospital when they're in for various medical procedures they need. So there's a lot to this discussion. I think we hope within the month to start publicly sharing the details that we have gathered on a new facility, the design, and we certainly will welcome opportunities to answer questions on that facility. It's been long awaited, and I'm very grateful to all those who have worked hard, our partners Haley Ward, RQAW, others who have worked to secure this location and come up with a reasonable proposal for a new correctional facility. At this point, unless there's other comment,
No comment?
I would ask our HR director if she would be ready to come forward with some information on requests that the commission made. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. The first item on my section is the rehire policy, and I would like to request that we table that for a little while. There's some department heads that wanted to have more time to review it before it's official, and I think that's a fair ask. So I would ask that we not action it today.
I'm fine with it. Well, before we get to that final act on it, so can you also, as a law firm, review this? My only question, I think when we had the first discussion, it would have been used like if somebody that had been at the county or currently at the county applied for a position someplace else and people called. I'm great with this for internal use. I'm a little uneasy about it being used if somebody calls for reference and we say we would or would not rehire them. I think opens us up to some liability there. So I would like to get that legal opinion on using it for external use.
I can do that as well.
So at this point, would you want a motion to table this, or would you want to just accept that she needs some more time to?
I think whatever's appropriate. I think you need to formally table it.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
We have to have a time, and right? So until when?
I think,
I would just request indefinitely, that way when
Well,
I'm
definitely
ready.
kills it, right? And definitely
Well,
postpone kills it.
it could be viewed that way, but if it is sitting on the table, we always can reconsider our
All right,
action.
so that just vote to table it.
Yeah.
I move to table it.
Okay, we have a motion to table.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. As far as the next 2 policies, I have a statement to make.
Okay?
Over the last several weeks, you have brought up the topic of credit cards and out-of-state travel as items you would like to have some governance on. You asked that I draft you policies, which I provided to you at your last meeting. You then requested I seek department head input as well, and we did have our regular department head meeting this week. Department heads collectively have drafted this statement and have asked that I relay this to you. It is a unanimously supported statement. Department heads fully recognize and respect the Commissioner's responsibility for fiscal oversight and the importance of maintaining public trust. It's a responsibility that is shared by the staff, and there's broad alignment around the need for transparency, accountability, and stewardship of county funds. Department heads are not resistant to accountability or the policy. To the contrary, department heads have expressed openness to clearer guidance, enhanced controls, and formal policy direction regarding credit card use and out-of-state travel. At the same time, there is concern that an immediate elimination of credit cards without further discussion could result in unintentional operational challenges. Department heads are therefore requesting an opportunity to participate in a collaborative review of the current purchasing practices, internal controls, reporting mechanisms, and improvements, and to review the out-of-state travel. This review would allow the county to evaluate the options such as enhanced oversight, standardized usage guidelines, approval process, training requirements, and reporting expectations before determining if more restrictive measures are necessary. Staff and department leadership remain committed to working with the Commission to develop a clear, consistent credit card and travel policy that reinforces public confidence and supports sound financial management. We also wish to clarify that what is seen on a credit card statement is not inclusive of the funding mechanism. Purchases made on a credit card may be paid for with non-taxpayer funds such as grant funds, employee-funded accounts, or may be reimbursed by other sources. And again, the statement has unanimous support of the department heads.
Appreciate your sharing that. I know you raised some concerns. I want to give you an opportunity if you have anything you'd like to say on this before we decide.
No, that sounds like a reasonable request. What we want to do, we'll get as much input so we get the policy right when we implement it. So I mean, that sounds very reasonable, and I think,
I believe the department heads were seeking just a few more weeks for us to have more meetings to dive into really how this would impact, positive and negative changes of the usage. We're not looking to drag this out, but we just need a little bit more time.
And I think from my standpoint, it is healthy with a new administrator coming on to provide some time for this to evolve. And certainly the commission respects and appreciates the work that our department heads and staff do. And as we've seen in this last budget, they've been very conscientious. But for many years, we've not had clear policy, so it's a healthy discussion. I just think it coming up during the midst of the budget created some uncertainties that were misunderstood. And I think going forward, we will try to be more proactive with the department heads before we bring something forward publicly like this. Anything else the commission might like to add?
No, I'll say, I'd like to add this. Over 2 months ago, regarding this issue, I asked the staff to print out a report of every credit card by the departments and the commissioners. And I reviewed all that information. I had a concern about this that goes back quite a distance. And the way it's currently constructed, it was hard to identify the source of the degree of in the area of spending. It was unclear. But on casual observation, I found it to be nothing stood out. Nothing stood out that seemed to be inappropriate or anything of that nature. But I think in regard to this, I think exactly what the department heads are asking will afford us that information. We need to make a specific determination of each one of how those are funded. And it did occur to me that there were other funds outside of the county that were paying for these. So it bears more looking into. And that's why I didn't pursue it at that point. I'm glad we're looking at it now, and I think I accede to the request of the department heads.
I could just tell you on what Commissioner Marshall said. I think when I initially brought this up as well, I want to say again today, I never suspected anybody of doing any fraud. I just think the more transparency we can have in the process, the better it is for us, the better it is for the public, and the better it is for the employees to have as much transparency as possible. So I don't believe there's any fraud going on in the county. I just think we need to be more transparent.
Mr. Treasurer, anything you would add, or is it a fiscal issue? No. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Lamb.
Just for clarity, the intent was that this could be done when all commissioners could be there in person with the department.
I think it's a healthy dynamic, especially in light of, again, the new transition.
Yep.
And the fact that we've probably been a little lax in having clarity in some of our policies. So this should not be construed as any individual department head or staff member being inappropriate. It's just, as both commissioners have said, an opportunity for us to clarify what the policy is. We're seeing a changing workforce, and we need to give people more guidance. So anything from on my behalf or on the commission's behalf that led to consternation on department heads, I think we all want to apologize for that, and hopefully moving forward create a better dialogue.
I think that is what the department heads collectively wish to have also, so I will relay your message if they're not watching.
Understood. At this point, are you asking us to take a
We
similar
would like you
action?
to either table them or just not action them until we all have a chance to have a meeting together.
Why don't we table these?
So I would move to table.
Okay, we have a motion to table and a second. Any further discussion? Thank you to all who participated in sharing this. I think it is healthy, and we are greatly appreciative that we've got that support to work on it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I take it we're done.
That's 3-0.
That was just a unanimous yes.
Thank you.
We will now turn the floor over to you, Mr. Lamb, as interim administrator, to discuss any exciting things you have.
Well, I think maybe Treasurer will talk about some TAN activity here, but he's gone out to bid to 4 financial institutions, but before he does that, whenever he wants to do that, I guess. The resolution letter, I guess I need more direction from you folks on whether or not we're going to, what we're actually going to do with this. I'm unclear on that.
Has everyone had a chance to review the letter that was in our file?
Yeah.
It is a response to the Budget Committee, as I understand it, and it points out areas that, while we are not definitively taking action today, we are recognizing the importance of those and appreciating what the Budget Committee did in asking for us to review that.
So this is a go, you're going to sign this and we're going to deliver it to them?
We'll have a motion hopefully here in the...
The only thing I think we got a bit of a timeline already on the audit and what they told us when they expected. Maybe we could include what we get from a timeline from the audit firm. Don't we have did we get some rough timeline?
Is the treasurer and the finance director comfortable with putting a time frame in yet, or is it something you still are working out with the auditing firm?
I wouldn't.
The accountant said that the 2023 is, I think, now 75% completed.
Complete.
Since I got that 75%, Donna has provided quite a bit of information for them, but when they asked Mr. Beardsley to pin down if we were up to 80 or 90% now, he didn't do that, so, at least 75% complete, but the 24 will not start until we know any fund balance for 23.
23.
And the accounting help that we're going to get for Brenda can come in and reconcile the 24 accounts.
Sure. I mean, it would be nice to have 24 done by the end of this current year. That's
It
what's
can be
gonna
done a lot
be.
faster than
I
that.
would say by the end.
But again, accounting firms are short-staffed. There's not very many people going into that field. And you gotta understand that this is complicated.
Right.
The audit services that are provided. So again, you gotta let them a little leeway on what we are. I mean,
I agree, everybody's
hopefully we
going
can go
through a
forward
tough time with
easy.
audits, but I think
Yeah.
the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I think we gotta keep at it and say, we gotta have 25 by the end of this year, and I think we gotta have 24 by the end of the summer. We're like a rudderless ship.
And if we show some more work helping Brenda prepare that information, I think that may stimulate them, because they're into tax season now.
Exactly, yeah.
Every firm is, so.
So we've
Every
all
time,
spoken for you, Brenda, would you?
I mean, that's
go
the
with
goal,
speed?
I don't think we're.
Trying.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah,
So I would like the finance director to have an opportunity to share her vision on this.
So I would like some time to make sure that the 2024 books are in order, because there's been a lot of issues uncovered in my time here. I've been working in 2021 and 2022 and 2023. Given that, I don't see why we couldn't be done by June, have an audit at least underway and maybe completely done by the end of June.
For 24?
To 24.
Yep.
And then, as things progress, 25, should be in much better shape. So I don't see why, given that the audit firm can do the work, that we couldn't be done 24 and 25 by the end of this calendar year.
Just
I think that should be our goal, if we don't meet the goal, we don't meet a goal.
I
Yeah,
think
just
that's
to
a
clarify,
reasonable-
you and your department with personnel that you now have feel comfortable you could have your portion of the data prepared, subject to obviously the changes 23 will require. But you feel comfortable what you can control would allow you to be prepared if they are able to move on to 24 for the first.
Yeah, I mean, I probably need a month or so to, because we're still, I mean, we're in year-end crunch right now.
Understood.
I have a brand-new person who's not trained. So I need a couple of months probably to get 24 in shape.
Yeah.
And then.
Recognizing we
Then it's up to
can't,
the auditors.
we can't control the auditor's schedule, but you feel fairly comfortable now that given some time by the first part of the second quarter, you may be ready to provide that data if they can take it.
Yeah, and maybe sooner, it's hard to say right now, but yes.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Just again, I want to thank the staff we got, because I mean, even to be able to get the stuff to the auditors is a lot further ahead than what we've been in the past. So I just thank you for all the work that's been going on with getting through the budget, and getting with the audits. You're doing a lot. Thank you.
Anything from the treasurer?
No, that's just,
I think we're good. So we're good to leave this, or would you like to add that the objective?
I would just put what our goals are, for what we heard from the auditors, or what we're trying to do. It might not happen, but I think if we just get the timeline of what we would like to see.
So why don't we not take action today and make some amended language that we'll share with the commissioners, make sure we're comfortable, and then we'll have the finance department take a look at it and finalize that letter for the next meeting.
Yep, we'll draft that up and add that to it.
Thank you very much.
because again,
Mr. Boswell.
Can we make sure that that letter includes the UT audits that are behind as well?
Understood. Yep. We will clarify that the UT audit is also spoken to in that.
and again, it's out of our control. It is up to the audit firm.
I understand
We
that.
provide the info.
I think what we want to clarify is that with the staff that we have now, there is significant progress being made to prepare for when the auditors can take that information and produce the audit.
Right.
So that is something that we have not had for several years.
Correct.
And
Because of the changes.
while it is not the fault of the finance team we have now, it is a responsibility they have accepted to get this ready, so.
Yeah.
And the UT would like to duly be recognized for being prepared, but being tied to the county's audit schedule. They are showing deficiencies which are not of their,
They go hand in hand.
okay.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else we want to clarify in this subject?
I'm good.
Just on the UT audit, is that an issue with the state not being so far behind on the UT audits, or the state?
No.
They don't raise any issue?
They're pushing us for an hour on it.
Oh, for the county audit?
Yes.
No, for the UT.
That's what I'm saying, is the UT audit, is that an issue with the
The
state?
state UT office is pushing us.
That's, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Up to date.
So are we at the same level with UTs as we are with the county? Is it 23 you're waiting
Yeah, I
for?
think we're 23 is completed, or am I wrong?
Yeah, they're working on 24
Yeah.
Okay.
for UT and 24.
24 was fiscal year ending June 30th, 24 for the.
June 30.
June, that's it, June 30, 24.
Remember, I was 24 and you're 24.
Right, there's 6 months difference, yeah.
Not for long.
There's slightly ahead.
And as a note to that, we are seeking an opportunity to correct that deficiency in timing
Right.
in the near future. I appreciate the patience that everyone has. It's kind of like being in the back while your teenager is taking their driver education test. Okay. Moving along, we are now at meal discussion.
I'm drawing a blank.
Okay.
What discussion?
Got nothing. Okay. I
Well,
guess we
part of
can.
those other 3 is.
I think it was supposed to be part of the out-of-state travel policy, so.
Yeah, well, not
Oh.
just, but not really, because I mean, I think just local, meals in general, what we're paying for food, what the county's gonna, I think, we don't have a food or meal policy either. So I think at the same time, we develop those other ones.
I think that could go up under credit card usage policy.
Right.
About,
Yeah,
But I think holistically, we're recognizing that we're at a state where we need to have more clarity and more guidance for our department heads and our staff as to what is allowable. And in fairness, there have been a number of very positive things that HR has implemented in the last couple of years that have helped with recruitment and retention and just general interaction between departments while still in the same building, don't always get to see each other. So sitting at a holiday party or event has some derivative benefits to improve relations within the county team too. So, but again, like credit cards, like travel, it is healthy for us to have that discussion with the department heads to clarify what works, what doesn't, and make sure that finance is also included so that they can provide guidance as to, even if it is a budgeted line item, what we should or shouldn't be doing so that we don't create conflicts between different agencies or departments. So I think this is all healthy for that meeting with the department heads.
I will add it to an agenda as a topic for that meeting, and we'll schedule it soon.
Thank you. At this point, anything else?
Can I make a comment to that?
You may, sure.
You know I'm going to, right?
We'd be sad if you didn't, because you're so clear and concise when you get up.
I wasn't going to say anything, but this is my concern on what has happened over the past couple of weeks when your vast viewing audience is watching. I am certain that somebody's looking at this saying, there's a potential problem with meal usage right now because we brought this up. Let's be very clear. Nobody's raised a meal concern. There isn't a single meal, or very few, under minimal amounts of money that are in our budget in the sheriff's office that have gone out of taxpayer monies to pay for any meals. We have a serious fatal car crash and we bought a pizza for the crews that are sitting there all day. That's coming out of officer fund money, not a single taxpayer dollar. I know this is all for our future discussion, but the reason I bring this up today is because I feel like because this is not being addressed today and telling your vast viewing audience, somebody's gonna grab this and immediately run off saying, wow, they're bringing up the topic of meals, there must be some abuse. Let's be clear, there's no abuse. There's no whistles blowing here saying that the sheriff's office or dispatch or somebody is vastly spending money on meals for employees. Let's answer that question now and say that we are going to have this discussion as a county, which I support 100%. But if you don't answer that question now, somebody's gonna run with this and say, well, there must be a serious problem because we wouldn't even bring it up if it wasn't. So I just
What is the huge sum within your budget for meals?
I think it's under $500 or $700. And again, it's embarrassing to me, this is for later, but it's embarrassing to me that when we have these tremendous events, whether it's in our correctional facility or a standoff situation that's gone on for an entire day, and that we're gonna buy some coffee for the people that are there, a lot of times people are volunteering, giving it to us. It's a shame that this is not, again, being clarified during this discussion to say there's no abuse on this. And I'm be careful about saying I'm offended, but if we don't say this, I can guarantee that there are certain media sources that will run with this, will immediately say, well, there must be a significant issue if we're bringing this up about.
I'm not sure when you can remember when we talked about, right, that's what we stressed when we talked about the earlier issue, that there's no abuse. And I don't know if you came in back right after that.
Obviously, I came in afterwards, but I didn't hear that comment being made when it came to the meals. I just wanted to.
Well, it's all under the same.
Okay, I just want to be super clear about it, that's all.
I appreciate your thoughts and certainly how you handle this. And I think it speaks to the greater importance as we move forward that we are including our partners, both our county partners, and as we move forward with the budget process and the advisory committee, that the public is being made aware of how we are operating and that we will welcome suggestions. I don't consider a social media post a suggestion at most times, but those who want to participate are welcome to either email us as commissioners from the standpoint of information or to the administrator so that we can make sure we're being thoughtful on all of the areas that are brought forward. And I certainly hope that none of the commissioners take from this a feeling that they're being cast upon because of raising an issue. It is a healthy dynamic for us to have discussion. It's just the manner in which we bring these things forward that are important to respect the input of our partners in it. So with that, is there anything further you might like to share?
Not specifically me, but when you talked about getting input and stuff, and we're still under administrative, where do we stand with the website redesign? Is that still in progress? It's not, it seems like it's a while ago we took those bids, accepted those bids.
I understand that, and we can certainly put that on the next
Yeah, if we can
agenda
just
to
get an
have
update
feedback
on
from the department. So any of these issues, I think we all recognize with some of the changes in leadership here and the budget cycle that a few things got pushed off. But that is not to say that this is not important. As you know, we've also been working on an informational flyer to talk about what county government does. That is in kind of a final stage, but one on hold when we had some staff changes here too.
Would I find bids on website redesign?
We awarded them, yeah, so we awarded the bid. I think IT should have all
If
the
you just put it
information.
on the agenda and give them heads up so that they can answer this at a later meeting, that would be helpful.
Thanks.
Anything further on administrative we might like to bring forward? Okay. At this point, I would entertain a motion regarding item G, which is the approval of the warrants.
We approve the warrants, item G, under January 7th agenda.
Motion, a second.
Question,
Please.
I'm just concerned about this, the amount of the ARPA warrant. Did we have a little,
Brenda, is there anything
So
that,
that 2 million is going back to the general fund.
so that's the loaned money that is being transferred?
oh,
back.
okay, it's not coming from ARPA, so I think it's coming from the general fund and.
No, ARPA to the general fund.
Oh, okay, so it's a cash flow.
Yep.
issue.
Right.
Okay,
They'll borrow against our.
right, yep, okay,
So that allows us,
right, it's not being paid out to our
Right,
recipients,
right,
it's going into
Yeah.
county
Just to
cash
help
flow.
with-
we have had some communications with our outstanding ARPA recipients to identify the timeline for them. So that allowed finance to feel confident that we would have that availability.
Along the same lines, we awarded a substantial amount of opiate money at the, I don't know if it was the last meeting or the meeting before, but are those funds being kept
They
for
are-
a little bit, or we?
They're in a
sending some out?
segregated account, and as I remember at the last meeting with the chair, they were going to arrange with the recipients that they would come in and receive the payments here. So we're awaiting Jamie's response as to the timeframe for
All right,
that.
thank you.
And I don't see that the grant director is here today, so we could follow up, but, okay, so we are in the process of voting on item G, approval of warrants. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous. Any further business to come before us before we ask for executive sessions? Seeing none, I entertain motion on 3 executive session matters, 1 contract and 2 personnel.
I move we go into executive session according to section 405 on contract and 2 personal matters.
Second?
I have a motion to second, further discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous. We'll take a brief break and then return for activities. I don't